second discussion, and it's the festive season. We've been saying that all this morning, and you'll be getting into a lot of parties when you go home. The soul food. I love my mom's cooking, and she really cooks. But so at the end of all that, you need to remember that, yes, that waistline needs to be watched. So after the festivities, it's all about January comes around and you're still feeling good about yourself and not too stressed up because you enjoyed the party a little bit too much. So how do you go about enjoying this festive season, all this food, but still looking healthy, feeling healthy, being healthy? I'm joined in studio by Wanjiku Wairia, who's a wellness strategist. And when I saw that, Wanjiku, welcome.
Thank you very much.
I thought wellness strategist. It sounds so wellness strategist. What is a wellness strategist?
Simply put, all I do is I inspire and empower you to be able to achieve the dream that you've always wanted to dream. Okay. Meaning, for example, let's talk about the festivities. You love your mom's cooking.
Yeah.
But you know, 3 hours down the way, it's going to be a big problem in January.
Yeah.
So what I do, I help you come up with strategies that work for you, so that you're still able to enjoy your mom's strategy, your mom's cooking, but you don't also beat yourself up in the evening that you starve yourself. And then, you're going for another party tomorrow. So it's about avoiding excesses. It's about balancing your mind, body, spirit, and soul to ensure that they're in sync. Because, for example, why do most of us overeat? We probably think we overeat because, well, the food is really good. Yes, that's a reason.
Yeah.
But a lot of other times, we either are eating our joys or our problems. So you're so excited that you've not had this opportunity to just sit down and bam and just eat and enjoy and have a drink.
Yeah.
For such a long time, you can't even wait for Friday. Maybe you're closing office on Friday.
Oh yeah.
So
like
you can't wait.
Show on Friday.
You're closing shop on Friday.
Yes.
So you say from Friday until maybe when you come back to work. Some of us come back on the 2nd or the 3rd. Others are coming back on the 6th. It will just time for you to spoil yourself.
Yeah. So
what will happen is that we put all our inhibitions behind us. And depending how your year has been, if it's been great as like mine has been, it's one big party for the next 2 weeks.
Yeah.
If it's been not too good, like some of us have not gone through a very nice year, and maybe towards the end of the year, especially with what's happening, then again we said, you know what, this is a time to forget my problems. So we just stuff ourselves with no movement at all. Then remember, a lot of us eat what our mind tells us to eat, not so much what we think we should be eating or what we know we should be eating.
Yeah.
So really, that's what I do for a living.
Okay.
Yes. So I just more of connecting your mind, your body, your spirit, and soul to be able to help you make the right decisions at the right time, without necessarily missing out on the fabulous things of life.
And that's the most important thing, because as we're having this conversation, again, you do not want to get into a position where everybody's having all this fun, there's all this amazing food, and you're there sitting, oh no, I'm watching my weight, or I don't want this and this to happen, and you're not enjoying yourself. I mean, being in the moment and feeling and living it is very important. Yeah. So you're saying that it's really getting out there and saying, I'm now on this break.
Yes.
So depending with how the year has been, that's how one gets into it. And of course, there's a lot of free time.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, you have 5 a week or 7 days or so to be able to do this. So how do we approach, which we've already started, the holiday season? How do we approach them? Most people are still working. By Friday, they're out.
First things first, I always say plan. It sounds like, you can know I've been planning from January to now. It's work plans, it's reports. No.
Yeah.
I say plan. Because when you don't plan, then anything goes at that point in time. When I talk about planning, I mean, wake up in the morning and decide, okay, for example, if you're still working, you're probably a lot better than those of us who are already on holiday.
Yeah.
Because then you do have maybe a day or two to actually think this through. It's the whole idea of asking yourself, I have for example, Saturday is 20th. From 20th, I get back to work on the 6th. I have probably right about 2 weeks. What am I going to do with this time? And it's like, no, of course, it's more visiting. Yes, but plan the visit. I will visit my mom on this day. I will go shopping on this day. There's all this other stuff the house hasn't been cleared, and there are all these things that I need to take the kids here. I need to do this. And if there's a party here, I need to drop them here. Plan. Because when you plan, it also helps you prepare. Because a lot of times during festivities, like I just take like my day yesterday, I had actually planned a nice, quite tight day to be done by 3. All from doing my morning errands, I had a meeting to attend, etc. But my day ended at 8 because of traffic. So you're probably seated in traffic when you think you should have been maybe home having lunch.
Yeah.
So what happens? You skip that meal. Or you decide, let me jump out of the house quickly, do a few things in town, be back home by 1 or be back home by 12. Traffic takes you more than expected. So you're out for longer than you had planned. So by the time you either get home or get to a place where you can find something to eat, what happens? You gulp your food down. As my husband says, you inhale the food. You know, and it's like, you didn't serve me enough. And then you want to top it up with something because your body is so famished.
Yeah.
And by the time you start feeling guilty, now I have overdone it, Wanjiku, really.
Yeah.
What was all that about? Who eats like that? I was like, okay, fine, I'll take it easy in the evening.
Yeah.
But then there's a family meal. And it's, you know, you've now probably bought all the nice treats that you've not been able to have consistently during the year.
Yes.
So I say, okay, I'll go for one piece of chicken.
Yeah.
You decide, okay, let me just have a half. Let me share it with Tommy.
Yes.
Sweetheart, you end up eating 3-4 pieces of chicken. On a normal day, you probably eat 1 or 2.
Yeah.
And probably a serving of rice. And the rice has been made really nice. And then there's this and that. So you just end up stuffing yourself. So that's why I talk about planning. So it's not so much planning like things to do, but be able to also think of yourself like a 2-year-old.
Yeah.
That's usually my simplest example.
Okay.
If you had to come to work with your 2-year-old, how would you plan for that child? Okay, apart from the sweater, the diapers, etc., XYZ, you probably need to plan for the activities of that child, how to keep that child busy, and you also need to plan for the meals.
Okay.
So I say plan for yourself like a 2-year-old. Always have something in your bag that you can, you know what, a handful of nuts.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing wrong in traffic. You know, those people who bring about the bananas, you know, pick a banana, 5 shillings, you know.
When you talk about planning, most people will say a lot of the things that happen now during the festive season are very random. That you're seated in the house, you said, oh, today I just want to chill and relax. And then your girlfriends are there calling and saying, hey, we're, you know, having a drink, glass of wine, or let's go by this place. And there's so many parties. So at the end of the day, you're constantly from one place to the other. I mean, there's an event here, there's this, and all these places there's just lots of food, and you don't have to be the person who's just sitting aside. So as much as you're planning, the portions control, what do you take us through how to handle that? While you want to have fun in each of these events and do not want to miss them, how do you go about it?
Well, the beauty of the holidays is that you really don't have to be up maybe at 5, 6 in the morning to get to work. So turn your day upside down. You know, like what you'd normally have for dinner, have that for breakfast. So like have a meal for breakfast. And that will allow you when your girlfriend's goes, oh, by the way, there's this deal at this place, come, we gotta go. Or I've been called, let's go to this place. Or your kids have been invited for a party. Or you need to go and do some urgent shopping for somebody. That means your stomach is full. And remember, since you're thinking of yourself as a 2-year-old, whether if you're driving, you're probably in your glove compartment, you have some nuts and you'll have a fruit, etc. Just like a little bag, you know, just throw it in the back of your seat. If you're using public transport, pack something that is not what can I say, that doesn't muddle, so that it's not too handling is not too difficult. So decide what that is for you. Some people carry a fruit, other people carry nuts, other people carry a small bit of the small yogurt, whatever it is that will work for you. Figure it out, because again, remember, there's you and there's me. So there's probably what I would enjoy, there's what you would enjoy. That is number one. Then two, you know, you have only this one life to live, so you really must enjoy it also. So pack the things that you enjoy to eat, and more often than not, the more high fiber they are, the more less sweet they are, the easier it is for you to actually go through the day. Because the other challenge during the festivities is that we're loading ourselves loads and loads and loads of sugar, and there's nothing wrong with sugar per se. So I don't have, like, for example, I had my coffee this morning with sugar, which really, I totally enjoy it. But if I'm constantly having too many things which are just loaded with extra sugar or extra fat, then that becomes a problem. Because of how our body behaves. The more refined foods you take, your body then signals the productions like, hey, you know what, we need to start storing some of this energy. But remember, you're not spending as much, even on a normal day, as presuming you don't even exercise at all. You never exercised in your life. You're waking up, you're jumping into a matatu, or you're driving, you're in the office, you're moving. There's a lot of activity. But during the holidays, we're a lot more sedimentary. So what happens? We tend to expend a lot less. But you're still taking in more, and your body is saying, you know what, we need to store this.
Let's store this.
And you're just like, But I didn't eat much. Like, so
it's
you're thinking, in January you're trying to squeeze in your tummy to
not fitting.
Yes, it's not fitting, and you're going to look for what we ladies call our fat boy pants. You know, your big pants, which 2 sizes. You know, that's the ones you're going to use maybe the whole of January. So the key thing is to remember also how you're eating is also training your body to expect certain things. Yes. So during the festivities, there's a lot of nyama.
There is, and that's the stuff that tastes good, Wanjiku. That's the stuff you want. You know, the vegetables are there, and you're like, vegetables,
garnish.
You know, but yes, just to garnish the plate and all. But you want the nyama, you know, you want the pasta, you want all this.
Yes.
That's the yummy stuff. Why is it usually, by the way, so good? The bad stuff is bad. It's really
there's no good and bad stuff. I think it's our presumptions in our mind. For example, it's also how we've been cultured, how we grew up. For example, I came from a very humble background, so for me, meat is my delicacy. It's my poison. It will just probably the one which will, you know, just sort me right out. But I've also learned that, you know what, I can also have meat in portions.
Yes.
For example, you come in, when you get into somebody's house, like, for example, like I was asked here, what would you like to have? There's this and this and this and this and this. And usually now, festivity time, the choice is big. You get so confused. So I usually advise people, please have a glass of water first. That's usually the safest thing to have. It's like water, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4 XYZ. No way, because I'm having water.
Water does what?
Water, first and foremost, helps your system define whether you're actually hungry or you're eating with your eyes. That's the simplest way I can put it. Because when you actually take down water, if you are truly not hungry, your system settles down. And when it settles down, then there's not this big rush in your head. This conversation is like, oh no, I better start with this. No, I'm too hungry, let me go with this. That conversation dies down. That's the most interesting thing. And then if it also tells your stomach, oh, we've put something in it, so we really don't need something now. So when you take a glass of water, it helps you now be able to look at the range of, let's start with the beverages, alcoholic and non-alcoholic. You're able to look around and say, okay, this is my favorite alcoholic drink, and not picking on what you're taking by virtue of the fact that it looks good in the glass that it's been put
in. I just want to have it as well.
No, it helps you make that decision. If it's non-alcoholic, it also helps you draw towards the drink of your choice. We all have the soft drink, for example, the juicer we love. It helps you make that choice. Then the other thing I always tell people, please let's work with small glasses. As much as the big glasses, let's work with a small glass. Yes, because that also helps you control your portion. So by the time you're done with your juice or your cognac or your whatever it is that you're taking, or your glass of wine, whatever it is that you're taking, you'll actually now have settled in the environment that you're in, and you now know what you want. Yes, as regards your beverages. In terms of your meal, I always say pick the smallest plate. And in fact, if you go to a party, you find the smallest plates have been stashed in a corner somewhere. Go pick one. And then walk through whatever is being offered, whether it's a buffet or it's just like a dining table with food on it. Walk through and ask yourself, what is that thing I've not had in a while? What's that thing I've been desiring to have? And let that be the first thing you put on your plate. Yes. Then now add on anything that you feel you've not had second or third. Then you sit down and have and eat it as you enjoy.
And we also find that some people, when they're serving, you'll find at the end so many plates with leftovers. So the best thing always as well is to just a little, you better go for a second, because maybe people feel uncomfortable. People will see me going back for a second, serving and all thing. I'm greedy, but it's best to just serve a little first.
Exactly, and that's why the small plate is good for you. Because then people's like, oh, are you guys like, no, I'm taking it slow. It's gonna be good. I'm just wait the space.
No hurry. We're not running.
Let me enjoy the food. And you'll find probably after your first or second serving, you've actually really done it. You really don't need to eat more. And I know the other thing that also confuses us is like when the meat comes around, the first round of nyama, the second round of chicken, you feel you have to pick something every time. So we know ourselves. So this is what I say: if you know you are a nibbler, take a bigger portion. Like for example, if it's a rib, take the bigger one so you can nibble on it for a while. If you're a nitpicker, just take 3 or 4 pieces and put on your plate, so that you will not waste the big piece. Yes. So again, it all has to do with personalities and our preferences and things that we enjoy to do. And then more often than not, as much as you can, keep moving. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
Because, for example, if you are, let's say, coming to town, and I don't know how parking is, I think, almost impossible right now.
Yeah.
Try and park outside town and just walk down. Yes.
When you can use that time to walk.
Exactly. Or if you're shopping with your kids, do walk around with them. For example, if you're in a mall, don't tell them, go and call me when you have found what you want.
Yeah.
No, walk around with them.
Okay.
This is an opportunity to bond. Even with your girlfriends, walk around. It's like, I know our heels, we must wear heels, but drop in a pair of flats in your handbag.
I always do that.
Yeah. I don't like wearing flats, but I've learned flats are girl's best friend.
Yeah.
Throw a small pair, in your bag, and when you get to the mall, you just switch them over, walk around.
So in these parties, family dinners, functions, there will be lots of food, but also lots of alcohol.
Yes.
And for most people, they'll encourage themselves, just a glass of wine helps with the digestion.
Yes.
So let me digest a lot more with several glasses and all.
Yes.
So in terms of how much, we're talking about beer, most men, will choose that. In terms of how much in a day, in a week, are we looking? We're talking about white wine, red wine, beer, all these different drinks. In terms of how much we're consuming.
Okay. First and foremost, my personal rule, we don't go to parties to get drunk.
Okay.
I mean, that should not be it.
Yeah.
I mean, if you really want to enjoy your drink, you will not enjoy your drink when you're becoming a nuisance. So we all know our limits, to be very honest. You know that point when you are, you're nice and bubbly, or you're nice and calm, depending on your personality, but your system is also telling you, we are right on the threshold. That's the time to take that extra glass of water. It's like, no, but I will get sober. It's like, no, you will not get sober. How does our system work? How does our bodies deal with alcohol? It's a matter of the uptake, and then also the breaking down of the alcohol for our system to actually clear it out.
Okay.
You would actually need probably about 4 or 5 hours at a bare minimum, depending on how much you take, to actually more or less sober up. But the more you take, the longer it takes you to sober up. That's why when you've overindulged let's say like last night, if I'd overdone it, my system will probably wake up at 4 p.m. today. By virtue of the fact that my body sizes was smaller. So the more I take, the harder the hit my body has. Right. So I usually say, pace yourself. If you know that by the time you're on drink number 2 or drink number 3, you're beginning to be a bit too talkative and nobody else is talking because they all must listen to you, sweetheart, brother, that's the time to take your glass of water. You take your 500 ml of water at that point in time, and then you can go back to your drink. Because a lot of people will then be unable to actually say, I'll have just 2 tonight. And unfortunately, the night started at 3 p.m. So it will be very difficult to keep them on only 2 drinks until about maybe 11 or midnight, depending on where the party is or whether they've been drinking at home, and even whether it's safe to drive. And then there's the other thing of ensuring that you also know who is taking you home. Yes, because then if you're driving yourself, then you do know you can't do more than 2. So that's why I talk about planning. If you have your famous taxi driver, Mburo, call Mburo and tell him, I'll be here, I'll call you to come pick me up. Yes, otherwise it becomes a total mess. So I will not be able to tell you, you have to break it down to 2. Ideally, ladies, you should not have more than 2 glasses of wine, whether it's 2 beers, 2 doubles. You should not have more than 2.
Okay.
Gentlemen should not have more than 3. But the festive season usually says,
it's the end of the year. Down and there are like several crates there, bottles of wine, and then most of the hosts will keep like, hey, you're not drinking,
having something.
And and actually that happens a lot, and people are like, how come you're not sipping, your level of not moving at all,
exactly,
enjoying yourself, so the pressure comes on. So but the planning, as you're talking about, very crucial, very important,
and essential, and also to remember why you're at the party. You're at the party to bond, enjoy, make friends, or reconnect, whatever the reason is. We're all there to actually have a lot of fun. And it's very difficult to have a lot of fun when we have 3/4 of the crowd being excessive, because then at that point in time it becomes disruptive. Then the other thing that I always caution is, let us not mix our drinks. Wanjiku, if you like Southern Comfort, Wanjiku, please stick to Southern Comfort. If it's over and done with, okay, then do your liter of water, then sweep.
Yeah.
As opposed to, you should try this. That's what we do.
Oh, yeah.
Try this. This is really nice.
And then, so from wine to this, to whiskey, rum,
exactly.
whatever. Yeah.
Then it's, no, there's this single malt whiskey. Wanjiku, you must taste this. And it's like, oh, yeah. Because you want to look cool, you take a sip or two and decide you like this more than the wine, then this gets finished, you go back to your wine. Or let's not mix. And if you really must change your drinks, just take a minimum of 500 ml of water. Give your body a break to be able to take that on. Otherwise, your system goes all over the place.
All right, Wanjiku, our time is running out, but very important that we touch on in terms of also the foods we're eating. Sure. What are some of those essentials we need to have in there to help with digestion? Because I think that's the biggest thing. That yes, you said there's a lot of nyama, all this, very rich in calories kind of foods. Yes. But what is this? We need to insist on that at every other single meal we are having, we're taking it in to help with digestion.
Very important. Thank you for that. Your vegetables are key. And then again, vegetables go with personalities. There are those of us who can do the leafy, not cooked stuff, and there are those who can do the cooked stuff. So know yourself. Like I mean, I love salad. I believe in it, but I can't have too much of it. But the cooked stuff, I really will have loads of it. So I usually say, put that on your plate as much as you can. Even in your little side plates, I say serve yourself from a side plate. Put half of it there. Then put your nyama and your other things, and start with the veggies. It's the other way around. Don't start with the meats and so
start with the veggies.
Yes, and then go to the next things, because that helps to fill you up. That's one. Then two, fruits. In between your meals, when you feel like you want to nibble on something, most parties will always have fruits. Go to the dessert section and just pick yourself a fruit. If you're at home and you feel like you want to nibble on something, please reach for a fruit as much as is practically possible, because that not only just helps with your digestion, but also ups your other vitamin and mineral essentials, so that you're also able even to sleep and sleep well. Because a lot of us now during these festivities, our sleep patterns will be all over the place.
I know. Catching until 6 in the morning, sleeping till midday.
Chasing the sun, as my friend would say. I'm too old to be caught with the sun up. No walk of shame anymore. So again, we need to also be kind to ourselves. There's still going to be another party tomorrow. Imagine it's not a must to leave at 4 in the morning. You can. It's okay to leave at midnight and 1.
So to still ensure we're getting enough rest.
Yes,
very important.
And water. Yes, for every glass of wine you take it. Remember, you need 500 ml of water.
For every glass of wine?
For every double?
For every double?
Yes, you need a 500 ml of water for your body to recover. So this is what I say. You're going to party, carry your water with you. Walk around with your water, drink it. Almost try and drown yourself during the day as you're doing your activities. So by the time you get into taking your alcohol, your system is fine. And then this water also helps your digestion. Before you go to bed, if you've been out and about, drinking, partying, on your way home in Boros taxi, please take some water with you. Before you jump into bed, take water with you.
Wanjiku, I remember you've done several campaigns to help people with this wellness and all. I remember your campaign with the KISS, Bring Sexy Back.
Yes, getting your sexy back.
Getting your sexy back. And that I think was amazing. I remember it was quite a few years ago. But very many people got on board. How did you get to doing that, and what is in the future for you?
Oh, wow. That was a very interesting opportunity. At that point, Caroline wanted to just do a program to hype people up in January, and I got referred to her by a close friend of ours. So that's how we started. So we started with just them being two of them, Caroline and Rudo on the show, and the whole idea was to track their weight and to educate people on how to get this weight off and how to keep it off and how to make the commitments. Because again, on that particular activation and activity, we actually made people commit to why they wanted to lose the weight. Fitting into the dress is not enough. There's got to be a longer term reason why you want to lose the weight, because then you can focus on it. So that allows you to move down your dress sizes, and when you actually get to the ideal weight, you're able to maintain it and how to create the lifestyle. So that's how that started. It was meant to be for 3 months. We ended up doing 9 months. Then the guys also kicked up a fuss. Wanjiku, how come this is about the ladies? So we brought on my very good friend Benjamin Ominja and Marcus. So I mean, it was really excellent. So that's what that that's what that show is about. So I'm hoping we can do something like that in January.
Okay.
And to actually just get people moving and not so much losing the weight because I'm 100 kilos and I'm supposed to be 50. Well, that's a good statistic. That's a good fact.
Yeah.
But that should not be the only motivation that actually gets you there. And then also how to connect your mind and body and your soul, the feelings. I'm feeling fat, so why bother? Why should I exercise?
Yeah.
And how to actually get off that and change your mindset, change your belief system, begin to change how you believe in yourself.
Yeah.
Because even this Christmas, there will be people who will not be eating because they feel they are fat.
Yes.
And I'm like, you know what, sweetie? You're 100 today. Please love the 100 kilos of yourself.
Yeah.
Because tomorrow you could be 99.9 kilos if we start changing our mindset and start doing the things that we need to do without punishing ourselves.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that we can actually do something like that in January.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe you can do with us here on Morning
Yes.
Express. Think
Please.
about it. We'll have that conversation.
Yes,
Thank you.
I'd love that. Thank you very
Wanjiku
much.
Wairia, wellness strategist.
you.
Thank you so much.
Thank
and
you.
enjoy your Christmas.
You too.
Yes.
Thank you.
Merry Christmas.
All right.
It is indeed, what time is it now? 7:50.